How's it going, everybody? My name is Joel Tyner. I'm a county legislator for Rhinebeck and Clinton. Been a community activist for 20 years, coming here to SUNY New Paltz Lecture Center 100. Actually graduated in 1995, summa cum laude, with a bachelor's in psychology and elementary education certification here from SUNY New Paltz. And I'm in my 9th year in the Dutchess County Legislature representing Rhinebeck and Clinton. And I'm running for Congress. There's a Democratic primary June 26th, and I need your support. The website is joelforcongress.org. Tonight was a great forum put together by Sue Rosenberg of Frack Free Catskills with West Gillingham, and all sorts of Kathy Nolan and Manager Joe Green and all sorts of wonderful folks. And I'm calling for a complete statewide ban on fracking. I'm calling for an immediate national moratorium. Same thing that Greenpeace and 350.org and Citizens Environmental Coalition have called for. 67 groups across this country wrote a letter to President Obama last August saying there needs to be an immediate national moratorium on fracking. I'm not just calling for a statewide ban and immediate national moratorium. I've been working with people like Richard Grossman since the 90s, the Program on Corporations, Law and Environment and Development, POCLAD.org. I heard Richard Grossman speak last summer at the Art Society of Kingston, and I know he and a lot of other people have been talking about criminalizing fracking. My good friend Ed Halfman and Jay Wenk, and I agree, fracking should be criminalized. It's a lot easier to undo a ban, unfortunately, than it is to undo a penal code that's been changed. So fracking should be criminalized. If you go to frackfreenation.org or criminalizefracking.org, you can see a lot of the rhymes and reason there. Josh Fox, the guy who did the Gasland movie, he's endorsed my campaign because 4 years ago I launched a petition against fracking. There's 1,100 people signed on to that petition. You know, a well that's within 1 mile of where fracking is taking place, there's an 1,800% greater chance that there's going to be methane in that well. Okay, that's a Duke University study from last May. Walter Hang of ToxicsTargeting.com grew up in my county, Dutchess County, worked for NIPERC for 12 years, struck out on his own, started Toxics Targeting. He was on Democracy Now! Amy Goodman, November 10th, 2009, talking about how there's 270 different cases of wells being contaminated, fires, explosions from natural gas drilling in New York State as it is right now already. Just going through the DEC's own files. And I'm 48 years old, and you know, I thought that, you know, 4 decades ago, all this was going to be cleared up and taken care of. You know, the OPEC oil embargo. I thought that now in 2012, we wouldn't have to deal with over 90% of our energy is coming from coal, oil, nuclear power, and natural gas. But unfortunately, it's 2012, and that's the way it is. So, you know, it's really up to all of us to do something about it. And, you know, Germany has actually less sunlight than we do here in New York State. They have solar panels all over the place in Germany. Dr. Richard Perez of the SUNY Albany School of Atmospheric Sciences says that we could power the entire New York State, all of New York State's energy supply needs with solar panels on less than 1% of the state's land. My endorsements: Pete Seeger's endorsed me, Josh Fox endorsed me last August, Cornel West has endorsed me, Medea Benjamin has endorsed me, Jeff Cohen has endorsed me from Woodstock, you know, he started Fairness, Accuracy, and Reporting. Jay Wenk from the Woodstock Town Board has endorsed me. Manager Joe Green of the Rosendale Town Board has endorsed me. Right here in New Paltz, Jason West, who's the mayor, along with Ariana Bosco, one of the village board members, has endorsed me, and we can do this. I mean, frankly, I'm sort of pinching myself. I didn't quite believe that this would be possible, but I've been kicking around these parts literally for a couple decades, and people are coming out of the woodworks. Ulster County, honestly, is on fire. Ulster County is on fire for this campaign. Dutchess, Delaware, Otsego, Ulster, more and more Sullivan, and in the words of the immortal Crazy Eddie, if you folks out there, we'll do both cameras here, if you folks out there get involved, we can do this. You know, last Monday we turned in 2,350 petition signatures at the New York State Board of Elections in Albany. That was more than twice what we needed. I wasn't even sure, frankly, you know, I didn't know if we were going to turn in 1,000, whatever. We turned in 2,350, and we're getting a lot of good media attention. The signs are out. There are other reasons why I'm running. Some people might say, Joel, you can't talk about single payer, you know, Medicare for all. Save $400 billion a year, expand Medicare to cover everybody. You can't talk about that stuff and get elected. Some people say, You can't talk about bringing back FDR's Glass-Steagall Act, break up the banks too big to fail. You can't talk about that. Some people say you can't talk about getting us out of NAFTA, GATT, and the WTO, even though we've lost 1/3 of our manufacturing base. 50,000 factories have shut their doors. You know, 5 million manufacturing jobs gone over the last 15 years because of NAFTA. You can't talk about that stuff, Joel. You can't talk about clean money, clean elections, public financing, you know, undoing the Citizens United, corporations aren't people, you know, stop their free speech rights, limit the super PACs. Can't talk about that stuff. Can't talk about all that stuff. I talk about that stuff because I believe in it. I stand up for it. Poll after poll after poll actually prove that the vast majority of us support progressive action on those issues. And also, frankly, it's really stupid, aside from being immoral, but it's stupid to not talk about that stuff because Maurice Hinchey has laid the groundwork. All those issues, Maurice Hinchey has laid the groundwork. And, you know, the smart money bet against me winning 5 times in a row, and I won 5 times in a row for Rhinebeck and Clinton County Legislator, even when there's Republican town supervisors in those 2 towns. I was not the favorite to win 5 times in a row. The smart money bet against Maurice Hinchey. No, sorry, Maurice, you can't be a liberal, you can't be a progressive and get elected here in the Catskills and the Hudson Valley. It's not going to happen, Mr. Hinchey. Well, he proved him wrong, and he made it happen again and again and again and again, getting into the Assembly and the state legislature. All right, Maurice, but you know, you're not going to be able to make it into Congress. No, you can't be a liberal, you can't be a progressive and get into Congress. It's not going to happen, Maurice. You know, well, guess what? Maurice proved the smart money wrong again and again and again. Now, I may not be the next Maurice Hinchey. You can't, you know, they broke the mold with Maurice, all right? But I can try. Can't we try? I mean, he made it clear that it is possible. And frankly, I think it's not just a moral imperative. I think, I'm not going to say that I think. I know it's a winning message to be a populist progressive. Not just to say, no cuts to Medicare. Not just to say that the Republicans were wrong to decimate Medicare. Even the Wall Street Journal reported last April 4th, the House Republican majority voted to essentially end Medicare. That's a direct quote, essentially end Medicare. Not only that, but you know, Obama himself put $4 trillion in cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security on the table, aside from in his State of the Union speech a couple months ago promoting fracking. Now, I voted for Obama 4 years ago, and I campaigned for him. This year, it's 2012, I'm campaigning for him, and I'm voting for him. But also, we're trying to send a message from the grassroots to the power structure of both parties. You can't, you know, shunt aside progressives, common sense progressives. We'll see what happens. JoelForCongress.org. Right now I'm in the midst of walking, actually, 65 miles in 7 days. It's a walk for the 99%. And just call me on my cell phone, find me, 444-0599. 444-0599. But you know, we can do this. JoelForCongress.org, and there's Woodstock. I believe if it's not launched already, it's about to be launched. WoodstockForTyner.wordpress.com and Woodstock for Tyner on Facebook, and Saugerties for Tyner and all that stuff. So thank you, David, for having me on.